lot of people have asked me, what is it that I do? And for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Apoorva Krishna, and I'm a musician. I love playing the violin and composing music. Some people also ask me how it all started, where it all started, when it all started. But here's something interesting. No one's actually ever asked me, why is it that I do what I do? And I think I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, because it's something that I myself haven't really thought about so deeply. When I think about the word music, I think of love. And when I think of the word love, I think of three things. One, love to learn, learn to love. Two, love to live, live to love. And three, do what you love what you do. And I feel like the more I connect myself with these three things, I feel more aligned with music as a whole. I feel not just connected and aligned, but I feel so much more grounded. I feel this openness. I feel like my eyes are open to a world of colors and magic. And, I feel like, I'm soul searching without even knowing it. It also makes me feel like there's some sort of a higher power that's listening to me when I'm not even speaking or when I don't even know what I'm feeling. And I think all of these feelings make me go inwards. And all these external things like external opinions, external, validations, all of these things don't matter anymore. They just vanish. And it makes me try and just find my voice and find my inner self. But you know what? It's not just about passion and love. And I'll tell you why. Here's something I really haven't shared with many people. I was born and raised in the US, and then I moved to India in the 6th grade to continue my musical journey. I also traveled a lot for performances, recordings, and other things like that. And as much as I really, really loved to be a part of the best of both worlds, I tried to enjoy everything about, being everywhere. There was some part of me that felt like I probably didn't belong to a certain place. And that sense of belonging was in some way missing when it came, to like a location or something like that, say a home, in fact. And, let's think about, this same aspect when it comes to my musical career. When I went to pursue my master's at Berklee College of Music, Valencia, Spain, I actually, after doing one thing all my life, which is playing Indian Carnatic concerts, which I love doing the most, I just threw myself into an ocean of different musical styles and worlds with different foundations, different musical, building blocks. And, seeing so many things, being so fascinated by all of these different genres, I was confused as to where to start or what to actually start getting sort of drawn towards, right? Because everything was equally fascinating to me. And I think I felt a little overwhelmed because coming from another, world, I was thinking, okay, I need to kind of rebuild a new puzzle, right? And kind of figure it out and understand how to kind of build from somewhere I've never, build from scratch again. And then find my way with what I do and then find myself. And I think all of these feelings at the same time made me feel like there's just so much to do. But then I started to realize that everyone in my university kind of felt the same way in their own way. And everyone was going through their own journey and own struggles. And I think the fact that we were kind of sharing this very supportive energy towards each other made myself feel that belongingness that I was always yearning for. I suddenly felt like the fact that we're all sitting together and doing this together and exploring together, even if they're different things for different people, realizing that everyone's facing their own struggles and everyone's going through, their own difficulties and trying to kind of, break free from whatever it is and find their path, it just made me feel like, just musically, which is, it's such a universal language also. I think musically, that belongingness kind of came to me, that feeling, that sense, that home that I was always missing in some way. And that's when I realized that home isn't necessarily a place. Home is a feeling. And another thing is that because it was a one-year course, I started to feel scared because, time was ticking. And so it was hard to forget that there was so much to do in so less time. But I think what made me kind of understand that that's okay is when I changed the whole, there's so much to do, to, oh my God, there's so much I can explore. And there's so much that there is to be able to discover and learn. And, as much as, there's a time constraint, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this for so many different things, not just musically, of course. But I think what I, was not doing all the time was enjoying each moment. And that's not because I didn't love what I was doing. That's not because I wasn't passionate enough. That was not because, I felt like, I'm not belonging to this, this thing that I love so much. But it was more because, there was no time, and I was so caught up in the moment trying to learn so much and explore so much. And as frustrating it could be just to kind of, put things together in such a short span of time, where there are also things like assignments and figuring, my sound out and what is it that I'm even interested in collaborating with, and, all of these things together, and what's inspiring me, and what, not just doing anything robotically, but also kind of doing things from the heart. I really today am remembering all these moments, and I wish that, I kind of took time to sit back even for just a minute and, during those difficult times, think once that, of course I knew I was doing it because I loved it, but think about, I love this, I'm enjoying this process, I'm enjoying every little moment, I'm soaking myself up in, soaking up the essence of every little moment and feeling it, and that kind of changes the way you look at a difficulty in the first place, because you're doing what you want to do, and there are going to be struggles, there are going to be things that are out of your comfort zone. I totally, I was going through it the whole time, as much as I understood that there's so much I'm learning and I love it, I wasn't enjoying every single moment. And it's kind of funny how loving something and enjoying something can sometimes be two different things, like how it was for me. And so if there's anybody out there still listening to me, and if there's anything you might want to take away, I would really, really suggest and urge you all to not just do what you love, but try and enjoy the little moments, the every little part of the process, not just kind of. I know we get so caught up, we're just absorbed and so involved, and we're just, sometimes we forget about, appreciating those beautiful little moments, even if they're really hard. And it's so hard. I wasn't able to do it all the time. And I think it would be so beautiful if we did that, because then later when we kind of, remember these moments and cherish these moments, we feel then that they're actually moments that we really lived. Every single moment, as much as I'm stressing on all of this, I'd like to share a very, very beautiful experience. I would say actually a turning point in my life that kind of changed my perspective on so many levels. And that was when I had the opportunity to perform with legendary musicians, Grammy awardee John McLaughlin and Ustad Zakir Hussain Ji at the Klarman Hall, Harvard Business School. This was during my postmaster's fellowship at the Berklee College of Music, Boston. And it was such a humbling experience. I have no words, absolutely no words. I was in tears. They called me up on stage to play one of their masterpieces, Lotus Feet, the Shakti Band's masterpiece. And it was so beautiful to just sit next to them and see their energy, see their passion and love and their enjoyment and belongingness and all of these qualities, and just their friendship with each other. And it was so vibrant. It felt like it was just this other dimension, complete. I can't even explain, even now, but it was such a humbling experience. I felt so inspired, and I felt like before I was always thinking that, in order to kind of figure out these other building blocks and foundations that I wasn't used to, because of where I came from, I then realized it's not about kind of making a new kind of figuring out and making a new puzzle, with all these different puzzle pieces. It was instead all about taking a piece of me and making it fit into a puzzle that, where it came from a place of just pure love and passion and enjoyment and belongingness. And I feel like that experience completely changed the way I composed music. It made me kind of look at things so differently. And another person who really inspires me is Sri Shankar Mahadevanji. He's so encouraging, and he always asks me to kind of push myself and, do whatever it is that I think that I can't, or that I think that is impossible, or that maybe, is not normal. Most importantly, I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for my teachers, Guru Srimati Lalguri Srimati Brahmanandam and Guru Srimati Anuradha Sridhar, for training me in Indian Carnatic violin and vocal, and all my Berklee teachers and all my friends, my co-artists, my family, my teachers, my parents, everybody, my well-wishers. I just thank everyone for telling me to keep going and not think about the result or where it's going, but just do what you love, do what you enjoy, and discover, explore, learn, do whatever it is that you want, and find yourself. And that's what I've been doing. I'm starting to feel so much more comfortable with myself. I want to share with you all today my passion. I will be playing a piece that I composed. It's an original composition from a recently released album of mine, my maiden contemporary fusion album called Intuition. And it has 8 tracks that combines Indian classical influences with other world musical genres like flamenco, like Latin jazz, jazz fusion, Western classical, things like that. I'd love for you to listen whenever you can. My music is on, all digital streaming platforms like Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, and all social media platforms as well. I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite songs from the album, Inner Voice. I really hope you enjoy. Thank you so much, TEDx, for the opportunity. Thank you, Bits Pilani, for inviting me here today. It's such a pleasure to be talking to you all. Namaste. Thank you again.